This is the Naked Mormon History Tour Travelogue, entry number 2 for March 22nd, 2017. I'm trying to articulate and just think through everything that I've seen in the past couple of hours, because I'm sitting here in the parking lot of Martin's Cove. And of course, this was the Martin Willie Handcart Company. That's what the Martin is in reference to, Edward Martin. He was the leader or captain of the handcart company. But they were trapped by a massive snowstorm, and a culmination of many terrible events led to the death of, more than 50 Mormons on just this plot of land where I'm sitting right now. You know, it's really hard to express this because Mormons will call this hallowed ground and a sacred experience to come here. And I look at it from more of a historical perspective because it's really profound to stand in the place where so many people gave everything they had and more, to the point that they gave their lives to be a part of this handcart company, just so they could make the journey out to Salt Lake at the command of Brigham Young, of one incredibly wealthy businessman who had a dream about a place where the Mormons, the saints, could live where they wouldn't be bothered. But the Martin Willie Handcart Companies, they departed winter quarters much later in the year than most other companies did. And that was one more factor that caused them to get caught by multiple blizzards, and what caused many of them to perish, and their rationing of food. They sometimes were unable to even get a hold of firewood to burn. They were burning sagebrush because it's the only thing out here. But Martin's Cove offered a brief respite for them. They had to cross the Sweetwater crossing here, and now they call it the Vale Crossing. There's a bridge built over it. And here I'm sitting on the Sun Farm, and that was established in 1872, long after the Martin Willie Handcart Company crossed. But it was purchased by the church in 1992, and they went and revamped everything in 1997 and built a visitor center and a number of museums with artifacts from the people that were living here and that passed through the area. And the church has done an amazing job of keeping this place up, and they have, full-time missionaries here that take you around on the tours, and they'll tell you all of the stories. But there's no way to fantasize this. Maybe that's kind of the main point that I want to get at here, is this dream that these people were chasing. The Martin Willie Handcart Company, they had come across from England earlier in the year, and they camped out in winter quarters for 3 weeks before they started their journey in May of 1856. And they were chasing a promise that cost many of them their lives. And when they arrived into the Salt Lake Valley, it wasn't Salta Lake City like in the Book of Mormon play. It was just a desert. It was more desert. Everything around here, everything in my field of view is mountain after mountain after mountain range, sagebrush, and prairie birds. Rattlesnakes. There's lots of rattlesnakes out here, apparently. Nothing was working for them. Nothing was helping the handcart companies. Not just the Martin Willie handcart companies, but every handcart company that came across the plains. The climate didn't want them here. There's a reason why these areas weren't widely settled by, large Native American civilizations and then abandoned after, the invisible enemy took them down, after so many of them died, after 90% or so died from measles and from, biology. This place is not hospitable. This place is not inhabitable by human beings. There is nothing here that makes this place a good place to live. And that's the same with Salt Lake City. I mean, granted, it's a little bit better than the plains of Wyoming, but, I mean, they were sold a bill of goods, and they gave everything they had and more, and it was a false promise. The only thing these people could take into account, and the only, I guess, consolation that could be offered these people was, since you made the trek, you are promised a place in heaven. You're promised salvation and exaltation. And for some people, I guess that's enough. That's what's most profound about this. You know, but I step back and just think about these people were duped. Brigham Young just fucked them over so much. And then when they got to Utah, nothing was easier out there. I mean, granted, they weren't traveling, a few thousand miles by foot. They were settling and civilizing an area that was just frontier Western America. There was nothing out there. But they struggled and fought and toiled for salvation. I don't know what else to say. And that's why this is a travel log, and I'm recounting these things just as it's going through my mind. Just all of the thoughts and the kind of mental struggles I'm having with this whole situation, with just coming and seeing Martin's Cove here. 2 days ago, I wasn't aware that this place even existed, and here I am, and it's been quite a profound experience to see everything. The museums are one thing, but the 2.5-mile hike out to Martin's Cove, the actual cove where they stayed, that was their, 5-day respite from the blizzard, from traveling through blizzard weather. It's really a profound emotive experience, and there's no way to try and quantify it. There's no way to describe it. It's just so very powerful and beautiful in its own right. The place may be inhospitable, but there is beautiful scenery. But considering the human element of what makes this place a landmark in Mormon and American history, not just Mormon, but in the broader sense of American history, 19th century American history, the human element is what makes this so beautiful, what makes this unique, and what makes it worthy of a visit. Yeah, I guess I don't have much else to say on that. This has been the travel log for March 22nd, 2017. This is the Naked Mormon History Tour.